nor are you to be called instructors. You have among you will be your servant. Yeah, and that was verses 1 through 11. Now, if you recall, probably last couple of months ago, or sometime or another, we talked about chapter 22, where the Pharisees and Sadducees tried to test and challenge Jesus. They challenged him about, you know, what do you do with your taxes? And Jesus told them, who faces on the money? And they said, Caesar. And they said, give Caesar what is his and give God what is God. Then they tried to challenge him about David and the ancestors of David and, you know, heaven and all of that. So now Jesus has focused his attention from after he has dealt with the Pharisees and Sadducees. He's focused his attention on the people, on the crowd. Even though the Sadducees and Pharisees are still there listening, he's not talking to them, but he knows they're listening. And one of the first things he tells them that, you know, they sit on Moses' seat, therefore do whatever they teach you. In other words, and like I've said earlier, it seems like, you know, when you just sit back for a second and think about how God works and you know how he organized and moved chess pieces and all of that around in his world, so to say. When our Sunday school book was wrote and they outlined the lessons, or the International Sunday School lessons was drawn from where we pull ours from, the Lord already knew what this world would be going through right now. That's why he has focused on, our lessons has been focused on love for this last quarter. Because the Lord knows with everything going on, we need to show more love, we need to show more patience, and we need to show more understanding. And even with this lesson, he's telling us we still have to obey those that are in authority and do as they you know say and instruct us, because that's the position they're putting in. You know, Lord knows we don't want to listen to nothing that President Trump says, but he's still our president. And even though we don't, and a lot of people didn't realize that, you know, we told them, you know, you still got to respect the presidency when Obama was in office. And now, how things have changed. We don't like the man, but we still got to respect that seat. And what Jesus was telling the people during this time, the Pharisees and Sadducees, yeah, they might not be doing what they need to do, but they're still sitting on God's throne, appointed by God. But they're still in that position, so we still need to listen to them. It's like that in the church now. It's hard sometimes to listen to certain preachers, to listen to certain pastors, just to listen to certain people, because they're telling you one thing, and you see them out there doing all kind of other crazy stuff. How can you tell me or preach on drinking and not drinking when I just saw you 2 days ago can't even walk straight? you know, how can you tell me not to steal when I see you always in the store putting stuff in your pocket? And you supposed to be my preacher, you supposed to be my pastor, right? So some people are just hard to you know listen to, but the Lord is still telling us, still listen to them, because you know, even the drunks, the Lord will use them sometime to speak a word. He's not telling you to go drink and do as they do, but sometimes you just listen to them. They'll give you a word. Even though we really in a society today with our youth, and I think this is hard. The society we live in today is a do as I do world. We was growing up, that's what it was, do as I say and not as I do. And even though we try to still instill that in some of the youth, with all the Facebook and Instagram, with all the technology now, it is kind of hard to do as I say and not as I do. So we're living in a society now that we do have to be cautious of our actions. Even though you had to be cautious of your actions then too, because Jesus wouldn't have said it. But more especially when we deal with our youth. Because they pick up our habits. And a lot of the times they see stuff and notice stuff that we do that we don't even think they're paying attention to. Instance that one young lady sat there and told me and another pastor everything that the members was doing in the church. This person had their phone out, that person do this person do that, this person do this, that person do that, and we quickly realized we don't need to do nothing around this lady. But they do that, but yet and still, we have to teach them what's right and what's wrong. And that's what Jesus was trying to do here. Do as I meant, follow them, but do not do as they do, for they do not practice what they teach. They were telling the children, pay your tithe. Pastor's telling you to pay your tithe. But pastor don't do it himself. You have members in the church telling you, you know, in leadership, you need to be at Sunday school, you need to be at Bible study, you need to be at these programs, but when you get to these programs, they're not there. And when they get there, they're coming late, but telling you need to be on time and everything. And when you start seeing that, you get discouraged. You know, you see a president that everything he's doing and saying shows that he doesn't care about you. Mm-hmm. And it gets you discouraged. But you still, when income tax time comes, it's time to file your taxes, even though you don't like him. You still got to file your taxes. Even with some of the government workers right now, even though the government is shut down, they still have to go to work. The armed forces. Even though some don't care for the commander-in-chief, right? If he says it's time to go to war, they're going to have to go to war. So we're living in a society that is hard to do what's right or listen to people that's in charge when they don't mean us no good. You know, when you look at law enforcement, sometimes you as nice as you can be, and they coming at you sideways and all of that, and they're asking you to do stuff or get out the car. And they can be nice with it. You ain't did nothing wrong. They pull you over and they ask you to get out the car. And because of, we know what's been going on in the past, we don't want to get out that car. But they're in authority, so we need to sometimes comply and live to fight another day. Other thing to keep in mind that I don't want one of them nuggets that's in him. Remember I told you Jesus had just finished being tested and tried by the Pharisees and Sadducees in chapter 22. Now he's teaching to the people, right? what we got to keep in mind in our own lives and our own actions. Just because somebody try us, do us wrong, we still got a job to help others. And sometimes the same people we're helping, the enemy is still going to be present, listening. A lot of people ain't going to like it. Just face it. A lot of people are going to be listening just to see if you're going to contradict what you just told somebody else. Me and Brother McKay is having a conversation or having an argument, and I'm saying one thing, right? So Brother McKay is, I'm through talking to Brother McKay, so I'm talking to somebody else. I'm talking to Sister Diane. Brother McKay still might be listening to see if I'm going to tell you the same thing I just told him. Then when they don't add up, you know, that's when a lot of mess happens. So people are waiting to see if they're going to catch you in some mess. After Jesus had finished with the Pharisees and Sadducees, they could have left and went on about their way, but they stayed and listened. But Jesus still spoke the truth. Right? Because remember, they were still trying to catch him in something. So if Jesus would have told them, do not listen to them because, as you see, they're out for no good, they'd have had something else on them. So the first thing he said, still listen to them. Even though they're not doing what they're supposed to. Make you think Jesus had a little pettiness. When you think about it, still do what they say. Right? Still listen to them. Even though they ain't doing what they're supposed to do. Then he went on to tell you exactly what they do. They don't practice what they preach. That's why I always try. I try, and you know we all fall short. But in a sermon that I preach, anytime I teach, I try to talk of things I know of or have research, because I don't want to teach nothing that I'm not practicing. And I don't want to practice nothing that I'm not teaching. If you remember when I first got here, the first thing I said, I ain't asked y'all to do it. But one thing I do is 5, 5, and 20. And I said, if my leaders will just try to just notice it, it may help out more, but that's something I do. I don't think I ever asked or said to anybody, this is what we need to do. I said, this is what I do. Even if you notice, I try, even with offering, I try to be the first one when we come around to do offering. Because I want everybody to see, I'm trying to lead by example. I know y'all get on me all the time about when we're eating. I don't know if y'all ever pay attention to it. I'm one of the last ones to get in line. Even if y'all tell me to go sit down and eat with me, I'm one of the last ones to get in line because I'm a servant first. And I made this comment to Brother CJ on why I do it. Is for one, sometimes you don't know what other people are going through. And the Lord knows a lot of people ain't going to tell you what they're going through. So when we have stuff and people are eating, that might be the only meal they have that day. Or they might have some issues going on at the house or somewhere. Well, the Lord done blessed me, and the church just paid me, so I can easily go to McDonald's or somewhere. If the food run out, I'll go to the house, to the refrigerator, and get me some and still be all right, because that's the servant mind that I try to display. So, and you have to realize people are watching every action you make. Every move you make. They're watching because they're trying to find something. Like the Pharisees and Sadducees were to say, see, look, that preacher at my chapel doing that, so why do I want to go to church if they acting a fool? They're looking for any excuse not to go. That's just like us when we don't want to go somewhere. Let the wind blow wrong. It's too cold out there, I ain't going. The other day, then don't let it rain. Brother Kelso, if it rains, we ain't going nowhere. It's raining. I just washed I just did my hair. I ain't going nowhere. And some guys be saying that too, but I say it sometimes too. But they're looking for any excuse. And the other thing is, what Jesus says here, they tie up heavy burdens, hard to bear, and lay them on the shoulders of others. But they themselves are unwilling to lift a finger to move them. You really see it a lot of the times. And that goes back to what I said when pastors or church folk, members, or however you want to put it, put burdens on their members about the budget. Put burdens on their members about programs, or not even that. A prime example, let me do it this way. We all know when family homecoming is. Right? We already know we're in a time that FAMU or FSU, or if you're in a college town, I use FAMU. We know when FAMU homecoming is, right? So why would I put a program on the same day as FAMU homecoming, right? When I could plan accordingly. Then tell the members, Jesus died for you, that's the least you can do is show up to this program. Now you're putting some on them that when they choose, and they don't choose church over the game, God's having a jealous God. So now you're making your members, or making somebody make a choice that you know they ain't going to choose what's right. So sometimes you got to avoid putting burdens on people. And it's not just church, I don't think. We do it sometimes unknowingly. Right? And sometimes we do it knowingly. But because some bosses will come and throw some burdens on you that they don't even want to do themselves. But if you go back to that verse 1 and 2, you'll do as they say and not as they do. And you always see it. I think everybody in here that has worked had been through a downsize or something. It seems like every time they downsize, you get more work and less pay. And even if they don't go through a downsize, it seems like you get more work and less pay. And it seems like that burden is so heavy. And the boss or who's ever in charge don't want to help, don't want to lift a finger. I used to tell the guys when I was the director over in Quincy, they used to get mad at me too. Because I'd be out there in the hole with them, Brother Kelso, I'd be in the roof. And I was in the roof at one house pulling some wire one day. And the lady, when I got out of the roof, the lady said, I need to, talking to one of the guy that was finishing up and helping do it install. Can you give me your boss number so I call him, see, can I get a discount on some stuff? He looked and said, there was a boss right there. And she looked at me and said, and you was in the room? Oh, yeah. Why not? I could do it. put burdens on our people not knowing it, right? And it's easy to do when it comes to the church. It's easy to do. I don't know how many, have y'all ever heard me say this with stuff I don't want to pluck from the same tree over and over again? That's why we try to spread out programs. That's why we try to do certain stuff. It's because I don't want to put a burden on y'all, on the church that's so heavy that it's going to affect the membership, which in turn will affect me getting to heaven. Because it's hard enough for me to get to heaven by myself, Sister Dad, without all kind of other stuff. And you see it all the time, programming. You know, this month, $150. Next month, $125. Next month, $100. Now that includes you asking for my tithes and offering. Not only that, you're asking me to be here all the time. Now, granted, that's the least we can do because it's not our money. Right? It's the Lord's money. And anytime the doors of the church are open, we should be running. Anytime we're able to give, because He's blessed us, we should be giving. However, we know how those black folks is. We know how black folks is, so why put people in a situation? I shouldn't say it that way. Why set people up to fail? Why put a burden on them to set them up to fail? We do it as parents sometimes, because we know our children ask for something. And we tell them, if you do this, this, and this, I'll get it for you. You know they ain't going to do this, this, and this. I bet you, if you make all A's, I'll give you $20 for every A you make. $20 for every A you make. But you got to make all A's. And you be hoping, yeah, I hope they make all these A's. But you be happy when you see that be. I told you to make all A's and I give it to you. Right? It's okay to set the bar. But don't cast burdens on people. It's okay to have goals. We set a goal for Men's Day, right? And I don't think it's too high to achieve. But if you still fall short, you're not putting burdens on people. I asked each guy, and if you notice when I asked, I said I'm asking each guy to try to raise. I asked some people to raise $500. You notice I said the Lord told me to tell each guy. The Lord didn't tell me. I knew what we was trying to do, Brother Kelso. I know what it is, and I know how many guys normally come to church, right? That's faithful. So if I can get the faithful few to even try to get 4 other people to either come or do the 500, I got 2,000 just with 4 people right there. And if other people come like they said they're gonna come, we're halfway to our goal. And even if not, I just ask. So I didn't put that burden on them. I just, if you can. But sometimes we get there with burdens, and the first thing we say, the Lord told me to tell you this. And the Lord ain't tell you to say. So we have to be careful when we do stuff and not to lay heavy burdens on people. Then it says, and they themselves are unwilling to lift a finger to move them. I tell you to do something and want you to do something. But when I see you struggling, I will help you. That's that crab mentality. I see you trying to get out of poverty. I see you trying to do better for yourself. Right? And I know people, Sister Diane, that can help you with your business. Right? I know people that can help you in this way or that way. All right? Brother Kelso is trying to get his trucking business started. All right? I know people that need stuff delivered. But I'm not going to tell Brother Kelso. No, because if Brother Kelso get his business started, Brother Kelso going to be doing better than me, and I can't have Brother Kelso doing better than me. So instead, you know what I'm going to do, Brother Kelso? I'm going to go to them people and say, I can do it, brother. I know somebody else that can do it. But what about Brother Kelso? Oh, don't mess with him. No, why not? Just don't mess with him. We don't want help. But we'll go to Brother Kelso when it's time for us to need some, because Brother Kelso got the truck and he got a moving company or whatever, and we'll say, hey, can you help me out? But I can't pay you. And we see it in restaurants. Black-owned restaurants, we hardly ever go. Or better yet, we will go, right? But not all the time. Then not only that, the own family won't support the restaurant. Oh, we'll go to Sam, but I ain't gonna pay. You gonna charge me? Right? Can you come work for me? I can't pay you right now because I'm just starting the restaurant. But I guarantee you, if it gets started, I'm gonna make you a partner. Something, you know, for that, I say, oh, you got to pay me. But go to some of these other Mexican restaurants and all. We throw burdens on people because we don't want to help them. Right? And then once let me rephrase that. We put burdens on people because we're asking for them to help us. But when the roles are reversed, we don't want to help them. I think that's a better way to say it. We'll call people, you know, long as Sister Sims is able to get people rides, even though Sister Sims ain't asked for not $1. All right? But it's putting a burden on her because she's got to take money out of her house to keep putting in gas to take you somewhere. You keep calling Sister Diane. Sister Diane, can I get $10 here, $20 there? And because Sister Diane is who she is, she's going to do it, but Sister Diane has some medicine she got to get. And she done gave you her $20, now she's got to figure out how to get what she needs to get. By the time Sister Diane call you and say, can you help me out? Or better yet, watch this. Have you ever noticed when people ask you to borrow money? Can I borrow a couple of dollars? Can I borrow $20? Bro, Kelso, can I borrow $20? Dad, can I borrow $5? Sister Anderson, can I borrow $50? The time Sister Anderson comes back and say, you got that $50 you owe me? How get this funky money? You know, I don't have it funky. Stuff is always funky when you got to give it. Right? When you putting a burden on somebody else, it's always okay. But it's time to release that burden. It's an issue. That's what Jesus was saying. We have to stop putting burdens on people and not willing to help get burdens off. And I keep focusing on the church aspect of it. It's because I have conversations with the Lord all the time about this subject. about, Lord, am I doing what I'm supposed to do when it comes to your people? Lord, am I asking them to do too much? Lord, am I putting a burden on them that's too hard to bear? Because, Lord, you told me that if I got a burden on me, I bring it to you. But how can my people bring a burden that I'm putting on them when you told them to obey those that are in charge of them? So they're trying to obey me because that's what you said. So Lord, guide me and make sure I'm not putting a burden on them. So and the Lord knows that He's placed me in a great place, because at the same time that I'm looking out for my members are looking out for me. Let me rephrase that. Let me put it the way I really want to say it. While I'm trying to look out for my family's trying to look out for me. And as long as we do that, we grow. Spiritually, mentally, and physically. Because we're not trying to put burdens on each other. You know, Sister Diana's not trying to put a burden on me. She's trying to keep it on herself, so it won't be on me. And I'm trying to get that burden off of Sister Diana and put it on me. Right? So we can carry that burden together. That song, Lean on Me. And I think one of the lyrics say, if there's a load you can't bear, you know, call on me, I serve, and I help you. Yeah, I help you carry the load. And that's what it's about. But the Pharisees and Sadducees, they were all about themselves. They were all about money. It was all about getting all the glamour. It goes on to say, verse 5, they do all their deeds to be seen by others, for they make their fallacies broad and their fringes long. In other words, they make themselves look good. During and I said this Sunday, I wasn't, and I intentionally, and when everything was said about the storm, when we were in there with the elder and everybody was calling out what they did, Brother Kelso. Oh, this church did this church did that. I didn't say a mumbling word. Because I didn't do it. And I was praying that my members didn't do it for the recognition. Because the people we helped knew exactly what we did. A lot of people don't know some of the things that other people have did for you. But you know exactly what they did to help you. You know exactly what they did not to help you. And if you're doing it for the recognition, a lot of times you're going to be disappointed. Because think about how many times you did something for the children, your kids. And if you was doing it for the recognition, for them to say, thank you, Mama, thank you, Daddy, thank you, Auntie, thank you, Uncle, you would be highly upset all the time. Think about how many times you did stuff just at the job. And if you're doing it just to get the recognition, you will be highly upset. Because a lot of times you're doing all the work, and who's getting all the recognition? And they did nothing. Didn't even know how to do it. So that's why I didn't say that. And if some of my members come back up to me and say, Rev, we want the recognition, I'll happily call the elder and say this is what Matt Chapter did. But it was my prayer that the people that we helped know what we did. was done in the dark will come to the light. Now, most times when we say that, what we're thinking about, that bad stuff.
We want the good things coming.
But we want the good things. Sometimes that means good things come to the light. Because he also says that who was last will be first. So sometimes you have to do stuff not for the recognition, but do it to help, to take that burden off of somebody. Because that person knows exactly what you did for them. And maybe they can't pay you back. But sooner or later, somebody else may will. I read some on Facebook a while back. And the story was this young man, or this older gentleman, needed a heart transplant. I had to have surgery. And his daughter took him to have surgery, took him to the doctor and didn't have no money. And the doctor did it. And when they got the bill, the doctor said no charge. And the daughter went and asked why. He said, because a long time ago, your dad, I walked in his store. Me and my sister didn't have no food or no nothing. Your daddy gave us groceries. Now it's my time to pay him back. So you never know. The same person you took that burden off of 10, 20 years ago, right? Maybe the same one that helps your children 40, 50 years from now. But that's just like the Hatfields and the Cores. The fight because some great grandma and granddad did 100 years ago. And if you probably ask somebody what happened, they couldn't tell you. Right? But because they did something wrong, they still fussing and fighting. I think some of us could think back of some places that are some communities that we just didn't go in. Because they just didn't get along. Why didn't they get along? Couldn't tell you to this day. Because somebody did something to somebody that made them mad. You got family members that don't speak right now. Because somebody did something to somebody that made them mad. But when you're doing stuff not for the recognition, right, you ain't got to worry about that. We said Sunday, when you take self out of all of it, 9 times out of 10, you're not going to make nobody mad. Now that's that 10 times that no matter what you do, no matter how much you smile, no matter how much you shake their hand and all of that, they still just not going to like you. They still just, and it ain't nothing you did. Brother Kelvin got the new truck. Kelvin ain't did nothing to me. I don't even know Brother Kelzo, but he riding around in that new truck that I wanted. Not knowing Brother Kelzo say, you can have this truck, you give me another one. Right? People do that. Brother CJ got this new truck, new car. So I'm mad at him. Alright, because he got a new car. Not realizing, Brother CJ said, if I could have kept my old car with no payments, that would have been alright. So if you want this with these payments, you go ahead and have it. So they just mad at you just because. But you're not doing stuff for the recognition. You're doing it because it's the right thing to do. And because it's the right thing to do, the Lord sometimes bless you more than they're blessing others because it's your season. Or they're blessing them more than they're blessing you because it's their season. But do you get mad? Or do you just keep living your life and doing what you got to do? Because once you get mad, who is it hurting?
Yourself.
Who is it affecting? And then when you start doing stuff for recognition, since we're on that, when you start doing stuff for recognition now, doing it. But because you trying to get into heaven, you trying to make sure your mansion is built right, then you just gonna do it just to do it. And have fun doing it regardless of who show up or what show up. Hey, I planned it, me and the Lord had a talk. It was me, the Lord, and the pastor in there, and we had a good time. And you're gonna get your recognition. Because sooner or later, He's gonna give you an increase. Sooner or later, your blessing is gonna come. Because you might have been one step away from your blessing. It was the last test you had to go through. That last step. And you did it for self. Now you're back at the bottom. Have you ever seen them shows when people get halfway up a mountain or something, they fall back down and have to start all over? We were right there at the blessing. Right there. And the devil showed up. And you showed out. And because you showed out, the Lord had to put you back down a couple notches. But you notice I didn't say the Lord showed up and showed out. Because when the Lord showed up and showed out, oh, all kind of blessings happen. People around you that didn't mean you no good crumble. You know. When the Lord showed up and showed out, trees fall down in places that you didn't even think they were going to fall. Right? When the Lord shows out, you see tornadoes and hurricanes and volcanoes erupted in places that had never happened before. But when you try to do stuff for self, you have government shutdown. When you try to do stuff for yourself, you have churches closing. When you try to do stuff for self, you have jailhouses filling up. When you try to do stuff for self, you have murder rate rising. You try to do stuff for self, you have the crime rate rising. But when you remove self out of that and try to do stuff to help others, you start seeing all of that go down. You start seeing the warnings that Jesus has given us go down. Because it's, we'll get ready to close out, but there's no doubt, and this is my mind, and this is me, you heard me say it before, that there's no doubt in my mind. Our ancestors prayed and prayed and prayed and prayed and prayed and prayed that one day they'll have a black president. One day we'll have a black president. Just one day, Sister Diane. I might not be here to see it. But world see a black president. Then we got a black president, and we stop praying. Oh, well, let me rephrase that. We prayed and say, the Lord, don't let nothing happen to him. But that was about it. And the prayer probably didn't go like that. Probably was, Lord, don't let these kill my president. So it really was a seal. And other people went around bragging, Brother Kelso, my president is black. President is black. I ain't got to say the rest of the song. All right? And went around telling other people. Mm-hmm. And stop talking to the Lord. So what did the Lord do? Oh, and not only that, let's back up for a minute. Because it was about self then. Right? We told these other people, you can't hate our president, you must hate him because he's black. You racist, you don't know what. That's the only reason why you don't like him. Right? Why are you talking bad about him? Because nothing he does is wrong in our eyesight. Alright? Nothing he do. You can ask about 80% of the blacks during President Obama's tenure. Name some stuff that he did that he shouldn't have did. Right? And I can name the first thing right offhand. He signed same-sex marriages into law. Right? That was a big one. Yeah. Right there. Right? And it's some other stuff. Right? But the whites pointed out everything they thought he did wrong. Right? And I ain't gonna say everybody. And some people eyesight, Obama was the new Jesus. And some people eyesight, they worship him more than they worship the Lord. And the Lord say, I'm a jealous God. That should have no other gods before me. So since this man can't do no wrong, and y'all are saying all of this stuff, right? I'm gonna flip the script. I'm gonna bring y'all back closer to me. And he put in somebody else. And now Lord knows we're praying and praying every doggone day. we're praying every day now. Now some praying the wrong prayer. But we're praying. So the thing is, we have to love everybody, and we can't do stuff for self. Because there's, like I said, there's no doubt in my mind, and more to the story is, there's no doubt in my mind when our ancestors prayed for that, they weren't praying for self. Right? They were praying because they felt like that's what we needed to elevate our race. See, that's what we need, a black president, so that people could see how far the Lord has brought us. Because not too long ago we were slaves. Then from slavery, we still had to be in the tobacco fields and the cotton fields, and we still had to drink from separate fountains. We couldn't even eat at the lunch counter. We had to get our meals from round bike. Then if they had a public restroom, we still had to use our house. So if we get a black president, it'll show, I know, and this is just my thought. I'm sorry, y'all, I'm running over. This is just my, our ancestors thought if we could get a black president, it'll show us that we've made it. It'll show us that we've come a long way. Look where the Lord brought us from. And we say it all the time, from the outhouse to the in-house, from in the house to the White House. Right? And we say it. And we still say it. Right? But yet we still act it the same. And actually probably got a little worse. So now, he answered the prayers. And after he answered the prayers, we still didn't come together. So the Lord is saying, well, I gave you what you asked for, and you still don't want to do right, so now I got to warn you again. Mm-hmm. Because after all the bad kings, he sent David, Christ all the time, so he sent some others. So when we remove self out of the equation, we start to help others. Even though we got people in charge that don't care about us, don't like us, but we still have to remove self. They're in charge. Obey those that are in authority over you. Obey those that sit on Moses' seat. Obey those that sit in the presidency. Respect those that sit in them seats. Because if you respect them, or respect the seat, it's more easier to follow and listen. Don't do as they do, but still respect the seat. Because the Lord put them there for some shape, form, or fashion. And I'm going to close out with this. He probably put them there to work on you, to work on me. All right? And I ain't going to even go with the president. I'm just going to go to day-to-day activities. The Lord probably put somebody there in front of you to get on your nerve. The Lord put somebody there. They're going to look at y'all too over there. The Lord, Brother CJ, the Lord put somebody there to put you to the test. Right? Just to see if he can make that enemy your footstool. Just to see if he's going to be able to prepare a table for you in the presence of that enemy. To make sure you are exactly who you say you are in his name. Because we always say, child of the Lord. I'm a disciple, I'm a Christian. So if I'm that, if I'm really that, if I believe in Jesus like I say I do, that means when you come at me sideways, I'm still going to say I love you. Because I know what the word says. He's preparing a table for me. All right? And just think about it. Thanksgiving. You got to prepare. You got to make sure everything's prepared. Right? Don't bring no cold turkey here talking about letting me cut it up and up. Right? You have to make sure everything is prepared. That spread has got to be laid out. So that's what he's doing. He's laying out the stuff for you. But in order to lay that stuff out, you got to go through some stuff. How can he make a table for you in the presence of your enemies if you ain't got no enemies? How can you make some enemies your footstool if you ain't got none? So if everybody like you, something wrong. If everybody agree with you, something wrong. Maybe the table he's preparing is in your presence for somebody else. Maybe the ladder that people are climbing, you are. If everybody likes you, if everybody gets along with you. Because you got to think about it. Not only that, he told us, you're going to walk through some battles. He said people are going to hate you because of my name. They're going to lie on you because of me. They're going to curse you because of me. So if you are truthfully a child of God like we say we are, you need to remove self out of the equation and realize that person that's there in front of you at that particular time is a test for you to get through. And once you get through that test, you move a little step closer. Once you get through that test, your table is a little bit more prepared. Once you get through that test, you've conquered something. So once it comes back up again, you can say, I'm more than a conqueror. I got this. We can cook that. Sister Anna could say she could conquer my chili now. Even though she told me to cook it, don't cook it as hot dog. But once you get through something, it's easier. Last time, I know I got close, I'm sorry. I was supposed to cook something that we didn't think we could cook. I did something that we said we couldn't do. And now that we've done it, we can do it all the time now. And if you don't believe me, all of us are driving. At one time or another in our lives, when we were growing up, we probably said, I ain't gonna be able to drive. I can't drive that. I can't drive now. Just zoom, zoom, zoom. We done got so good at it, we drive with one hand and with our knees and all of that. All right? So once the Lord puts a test in front of us, He's going to equip us to pass that test. We just got to be smart enough to realize that it is a test. And like every test, sometimes we fail, sometimes we pass. But just know because of Him, we're able to retake it. But please, and maybe you can tell somebody else this, don't keep failing the test. Then get to the point where you're not able to pass it no more. In other words, don't keep falling and falling and falling to the point you done fail in hell when you lift up your eye. Because then it's too late. If you fall down, just get back up and keep trying. Thank y'all. Sorry I went over 10 minutes and apologize for coming in late, but I did get off late. Like I said, continue to pray for Sister Linda and her family. I will get with Elder tomorrow to try to get him some counsel